Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Afternoon Tune. I am your host, Josh, and with me are my two co-hosts.
It's your boy Chase.
And it's your boy Nick.
And Bubbles, yeah, Bubbles. And we got a nice big show for you all today. A lot of news that came out this past week. And we got some good TV shows to review as well as one movie review. So for the show, we're going to be discussing Falcon the Winter Soldier Episode 2. As we said before, we're going to be reviewing all the episodes that come out. It's only a 6-episode series, so don't see why not. 6-episode event. So we're going to be reviewing all those episodes, and we're going to be reviewing Episode 2 now. We reviewed Episode 1 last week, which is up on the YouTube channel and all the various links. We're going to be discussing Invincible, the Amazon Prime TV show that just debuted today, Friday. And March 26th, so we're going to be discussing that. The Robert Kirkman, based on the Robert Kirkman comic, the creator of The Walking Dead. Is that show still on, The Walking Dead? I know.
Yes.
Okay, that's still going, huh? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Somehow,
Wow.
some way, yeah.
What season is that show on? Like season 18?
20.
28?
I don't even. I think they're
69.
double digits. So that's
No.
Yeah.
I wonder what will last long.
59 seasons.
Yeah. I wonder what will die first, The Simpsons or The Walking Dead? I got my money on The Simpsons.
Nah, I honestly think Walking Dead will die before The Simpsons. Simpsons just hit like 7. I think 700th episode, right? Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so they're
people have
just-
been over the Walking Dead for years.
But why is it
But-
still on the air if people been, you know?
I don't know.
I mean, it's the moneymaker. That's literally all AMC got right now.
Yeah.
Guaranteed moneymaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. AMC used to have.
All of AMC's premiere shows, all those have either been canceled or have ended.
Yeah. Because Better Call Saul just ended, right?
It's
don't know.
they're still working on season 6. I think they're just waiting on everybody's schedules to open up.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Because that's kind of the only other big premiere show they have that critically is acclaimed is Better Call Saul, I believe.
Yeah.
There's Killing Eve too.
Oh, Killing Eve. Okay.
I used to love Into the Badlands. That was my shit.
Yeah.
There
I
was
heard that
absolutely no plot, but just the fight scenes. Some
Yeah.
fight scenes were tough.
That's what I hear. I have to get into that show.
Yeah.
That's what I hear. So we're going to be discussing Invincible, Minari, which also stars Stephen Yeun, like he also stars in Invincible. We're going to be discussing that. Nick and Chase saw it, so they're going to be reviewing that. I didn't get a chance to watch it myself, so they're going to be giving that to you all, as well as going on some various news stories. Going to be discussing Jessica Walter. Her unfortunate passing, going to be paying respects to her and her legacy. Going to be discussing Promising Young Woman director Emerald Fennell, the Zatanna movie, Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, the Suicide Squad trailer that just dropped today as well. That's hot off the presses, fresh news. Ghost of Tsushima, they're doing a movie. And as well, we're going to be discussing Black Widow. Finally, they finally announced when they're going to come out with that, Disney. So how is everybody doing today?
Doing well. Can't complain. It's another good week to be a comic book fan. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great. I feel like it's a great month to be a nerd. You have Falcon the Winter Soldier coming out. You have Zack Snyder's Justice League actually being good. which-
Yeah.
Who saw that coming?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So,
then all
I
the news and the trailers.
Yeah. So I was gone for the past couple of shows. I had some stuff to deal with, and then while I was gone, these two turned into Snyder simps. So I don't know what happened. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Because they would, I was the one defending Snyder. When the trailer came.
You were you?
And they were talking shit about it. They would. Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you look back at the tape, I mean, you could play it back, and you guys are making fun of the song he had in the trailer, and then you were making fun of the we live in a society, even though I said we do live in a society, and you guys are making fun of that, and I said like, no, yeah, we do, and then y'all was clowning them for that. So all of a sudden you see it, and then you turn into Snyder simps all of a sudden. So
Hey man, we clowned it because those were bad choices.
With the marketing,
Yeah.
but we're both willing to eat our words whenever something that we weren't expecting is actually good.
Yeah, no, that's just honest. We're just being honest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He won us over finally.
Yeah.
Speaking
But I
of
still
which-
haven't. Yeah, I still haven't seen it myself, so I still have to check it out.
Winner.
And the Justice
See,
League-
how are you gonna say that you were the Snyder defender, the sole avenger of the Snyder Cut?
How are you saying that you were the defender when you didn't even watch the movie?
Yeah.
Because listen, I was saying like, hey, give it a chance. It could be good, but you guys were ready to tear it apart and you say it was gonna be bullshit. I
have yet to see it.
Yeah, I have not seen it yet. But
Okay.
I will see it. But Zack Snyder.
Apparently,
cool,
it's
man.
so good. Apparently, it's so good that people are begging him to finish the rest of it, which we'll see.
Those fucking people.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Zack Snyder, I always thought he was a good guy. I've liked more of his films than not. And some people saying this is his best film. I don't think, like Dawn of the Dead. I still think, to me, I think it's his best film, but I have to check this out, see what it's all about. Very stylish guy too. I like his vest. He wears good vests. The whole vest and tie look with the jeans. Actually, it's a good look. I like it. It's a good
I
look.
thought
Yeah,
I
we
thought
said
you were
this
gonna
in our
say.
discussion. We said this in our discussion last week. Is Zack Snyder? He seems like a really good guy, and by all accounts, he's just an absolute joy to work with. I mean, if I were to be an actor, I'd rather be on a Zack Snyder set than say like a Robert Eggers or Ari Aster set.
Wow, I disagree. I disagree with that. I think I would rather be tortured and then make great art, but not be, not have a good time and make bullshit. That was kind of the whole thing with Orson Welles. People work with him, and it was just like, well, if I work with Orson Welles, I know it's gonna be great for my career. We're gonna make something great, but he is a fucking asshole, and I am gonna fucking hate him. But this guy is good. If he's good, he's good. There you go. He's a genius. What can you do? So to move into our first topic of the day, we're going to be discussing Jessica Walter, who passed away in a way that we kind of wish we all kind of did, in her sleep. She was 80 years old. If people don't know who she is, she was, I guess, most people know who she is in pop culture because she was the mother in Arrested Development. That's where I know her from. That's when I first saw her. She was very, very funny in that show. That show was really great. If nobody's ever checked it out, I highly recommend checking it out. Very, very funny show. Very hilarious.
At least the first 3 seasons.
They did some reboot seasons on Netflix that came out that I wasn't really too big of a fan of, that weren't as good. But it was tough because everybody from that show, they're all pretty busy. Jason Bateman's a movie star now, and he has a successful show called Ozark that's on Netflix as well. And then Tony Hale was on Veep, which is also a highly successful show on HBO. Will Arnett, he's doing stuff like he was the voice of Batman and Lego Batman, and he's always in a bunch of other stuff.
And she was also, and like how I know her is being the voice of Archer's mom and also BoJack Horseman's mom. And in both roles, she's pretty much playing the same character that it seemed like she was playing in Arrested Development.
Exactly.
But
I think for like around the time Archer was coming out, the creators of that show in interviews saying that for the role of Laurie Archer, we wanted a Jessica Walters type. And then the next day she saw that interview and was like, why don't you just get me? And that's pretty much the story of how she got cast as Mallory Archer.
Because she is like perfect at that snidey rich mom role. She is the quintessential Karen.
She is the quintessential uber rich, kind of racist, just awful mother. But she is just so funny that she is just endearing to that role.
No, she's perfect at that. That was like, I don't know too much of her like earlier work, but like I know her from like, and I feel like most people our age probably know her from her later work, being that kind of like if you need a rich, like angry, but like very sophisticated
mother.
You call her.
If you need a lot animated version of like the family from Ready or Not. You get her.
Yeah. And for that, I am grateful for her existence.
Yeah. And she had a career that spanned 6 decades. I mean, she was in Hollywood for a long time. And various amount of stuff, like people said, like Arrested Development, like Archer. A lot of people probably know as the voice of that. BoJack Horseman, which also starred Will Arnett, also voiced as BoJack. She was also in a movie that I also remember her from, Play Misty for Me, which was Clint Eastwood's directorial debut. I remember seeing that film. It was kind of like a stalker kind of film type thing. She was very effective in that. The Flamingo Kid, she was also in that. I mean, she's got a really nice, just really great legacy, great career in Hollywood. And I mean, it's really sad to kind of see her gone from everything like that. So yeah, very very much deep respects to her and everything like that, and the legacy she left behind. Because I mean, she was definitely very good. And, she definitely will be missed. All right. So moving on from discussing that, we're discussing Ghost of Tsushima. The great critically acclaimed game that most people did. Did you guys beat that game? Play it? Beat it?
I got about like 30 or 40 hours into it, but I never beat it.
Yeah, I beat it before, and I'm doing. Yeah, I beat it before, but I'm just doing the new game plus for it now. Just to admire how gorgeous that game is.
It really is.
Riding around, it's kind of like driving around normally in GTA.
Yeah, no, it really is. Like, you just follow the wind. Because here was my problem. I just followed the wind and kept doing all the side quests possible, and I just never got around to beating it until I got burnt out. But. It is a great game, though.
Yeah, highly critically acclaimed and very, very successful. This is from Deadline. It says, the game recently crossed a massive milestone of selling over 6.5 million copies since its July 2020 debut, and with great success comes Hollywood trying to capitalize off that success. So they're going to try to do a movie off of it. From the guy who's the director of John Wick, Chad Stahelski. It's going to be the one directing this film, and it's Sony Pictures and PlayStation Productions that are going to be putting it into development. What do you guys think about them doing a, Ghost of Tsushima movie? And this is after they announced that they're going to do a Last of Us, HBO series. Do you think that this would be a great avenue, to do a movie about this, or would you rather see an HBO series or something like that, as opposed to them just doing a full-length film?
Both are unnecessary to me, but I would actually prefer them to do a series for this game in particular, because one of the things that I loved about the game wasn't necessarily the main story, but the side quests and the side characters. Getting a chance to really develop them and have them come together as a team, I feel like that could be a route that is probably not necessarily going to be explored in this movie. But I do think still that the film, the game is probably one of the easier to adapt into a movie or TV show, because it has a relatively straightforward narrative, and then you have like the very simple beats that like you can hit, like Jin's emotional struggle with becoming the ghost and kind of forging the sort of ninja style of fighting that we see in the game versus what he wants to be as a samurai. I think that's a very compelling struggle that from what I've played, at least, I feel like the movie could really take the time to flesh that out further. But aside from that, I don't see why video game studios want their games to be made into movies so badly, and I don't understand why we keep trying to do this. But what do you think, Nick?
When I first heard they were making a movie, my gut reaction, like when I hear most of that news, is why? Especially with a game like Ghost of Tsushima, where the gameplay itself, it's so cinematic. It's just such a gorgeous game. How do you translate that to live action? Until they announced that Chad Stahelski from John Wick was going to be the director on it. Then that opened up a whole bunch of other questions like, oh shit, motherfucker, they about to whitewash this. Please don't.
No,
Please don't.
I don't think that they.
Scarlett Johansson as Jin Sakai.
I don't think that could happen. I really genuinely don't think that that could happen. The worst that they could do is I think they will.
That's just worst case scenario for me.
No, I think worst case scenario is Keanu Reeves that they cast as Jin. And that's about as most whitewashed as they're probably going to get to it, because I don't see them getting away with that. You know what I'm saying? Not in Tsushima.
It is cool. It is potentially going to be cool to see another major Hollywood studio film that, by the very nature of it, is going to have a primarily Japanese or primarily Asian cast.
Yeah. It has to be.
Cool. But it also opens up the question, are you going to have the dialogue be in English, or are you going to have it in Japanese? Which, that was kind of little bits of my issues with the game, with the story-wise, because you have a lot of Japanese actors speaking English, and some of them are not as practiced at it.
Well, so I'm kind of a weeb, so I put it on sub. So I kind of do hope that they do subtitles for it instead of the English route, because from my memory, was it like something where like they didn't necessarily fix the CGI for the dub version is what I think I remembered them saying, like they didn't necessarily fix like the facial, like, you know, like the lip syncing, so I don't know, for me at least I didn't notice anything, but obviously I don't speak Japanese, so you know. It was gonna hit regardless for me. But I do hope they do Japanese. I feel like that makes the most sense. Yeah, but they probably won't because it's Hollywood.
Yeah, probably not. The actor who voiced the voice actor who voiced Jin, of course they even based the body model off of him, so he would be also a natural choice to play Jin, the character in the movie. But again, it's all about Hollywood and bankability and
It's Hollywood.
Yeah, so we all know. So it depends on who they're gonna cast.
So Tom Cruise,
yeah, Tom Cruise. I don't know. I mean, the way
Johansson.
Yeah. I don't know. The way Steven Yeun is blowing up right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they get him.
But he's Korean, right? Is he?
I don't think.
Yes, he is Korean.
I don't think they really care a lot of these times. They just go like, okay, well, you're Asian. There you go. That's good enough. I don't think they care, honestly. I don't know. I mean,
I don't think it's like with Fred Hampton where you can find a British guy to play him. You know what I'm saying?
So
get Mark Wahlberg to play Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. So do you guys think besides with someone like Keanu Reeves, do you think there's any, or the voice actor, do you think there's any good actors that you would see?
I really want there to be somebody new. I want them to surprise us with somebody new, because the game itself has enough recognition.
Yes.
I feel like it may not do killer at the box office, but just by the game alone, if they do a decent enough job with the trailer and the casting, I think it's gonna make its money back and more. You know what I'm saying? So I hope it's somebody new. I hope it's somebody I never heard of.
Yes, get a complete unknown for this.
I don't know.
That's the route to go.
Yeah, you think so? What do you think about the director itself? I mean, I am impressed with his John Wick movies. I know he was one half of the person that directed some of those movies. And then the action in those movies are very good. How do you think that action translates to doing a samurai film? And do you think those two things translate with each other?
I mean, we'll see, but regardless, I think we are going to see some great action, especially when Jin becomes sort of the ghost. So we might not get those like long, like those long shots, like on some like Kurosawa type beat where like we're like far away and then Jin gets to do the standoff. We might not get that perfectly right, but at least he's gonna get the ninja stuff down like that. I know that for a fact. That's gonna look awesome.
Especially a lot of the action scenes around the villain from John Wick 3, because that was a lot of like ninja style action. And
yeah.
If anything, you can kind of look at the third John Wick as his audition to do Tsushima.
Yeah. Because there's gonna be big ensemble. Well, if it's anything like the game, there's gonna be big ensemble fights. That should be fun.
And there was a sword fight at the end of John Wick 3.
Yeah.
We fought the two dudes from the raid. So
yeah.
So there was something like that, but we'll see. See what they do with it. Very excited to see, what they come up with the ideas, casting wise. I think obviously a lot of people saying the natural choice is just to go with the voice actor who voiced the character. All right, so moving on from discussing that, we're going to discuss some DC news. Got a lot of DC news that just dropped. Oh, but before we get into that, we can discuss the Marvel stuff real quick as well, because it's just some real quick news. So they finally came out with a release date.
Champs.
Oh, we said
the reigning defending champs.
Yeah, Marvel. There you go. They finally released some news about Black Widow, because I think it was just maybe a couple of weeks ago, something like that. I was thinking like, they still haven't really announced the release date for that movie yet, and then they dropped the news for it. So it is going to be on Disney Plus, and it's going to release in theaters simultaneously. And they're doing the whole Disney Plus Premier Access thing with it, which means it's going to be $30. And it continues. Disney constantly charging $30 for its Asian leads. This Raya, Scarlett Johansson. They just keep doing it to their Asian leads. I don't know why. What's up with that? But that's what Disney's doing. It's a trend.
Did Raya do good?
They don't release the numbers, so I don't know. I haven't heard. They don't really release the numbers.
It had to have done decently if it. True. It had to have done decently if they're still willing to do this whole Premier Access thing. I mean, I don't know if there's like a contract with like they may have signed with like the directors and producers of the film.
I think with Marvel Studios that was a caveat in their contract. They had to release it in theaters, but because the situation, or the profits had to at least match what they would earn in the theater.
Okay. Because not too keen on paying $30 on any of these movies, honestly, for a one-time viewing.
Yeah,
$30 to watch Black Widow at home. If you're a single person and you have nobody else coming over, you can go fuck yourself.
Pretty much.
Fuck yourself, Disney. You expect me to pay $30 for that shit?
Or like Steven Yeun's character in Minari said, if you could find a free way,
you can find it for free.
Yeah, if you could find it for free, then you should look into that, because that's much smarter.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yep, the views of Chayse McLaughlin, Nicholas Taylor, and Josh Williams do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Afternoon Tune LLC.
Neither does Steven Yeun's character in Minari.
Because we talked about this, I think, when Raya came out, when we had the discussion about that when reviewing that, and the $30 thing, again, if something came with it, like if you actually owned it and it wasn't just a one-time period, because eventually it's going to go away.
Yeah.
Eventually their dollars and stuff like that is going to come back. And there is going to be a time where it is going to be available for free, so why not wait.
Oh, whoops.
Why not do like 3 weeks in the theatrical run and then drop it on Disney Plus, or do it vice versa,
or just not.
Or just give it some lower the price. It's like 15, like the average for a movie on VOD is like $19.99 maximum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
That's how
that's,
much.
that's like day one, just released on like Apple TV.
Like, I don't even think I paid $30 to get into the Chinese theater in LA.
I went to the fucking Alamo Draft House in Austin, Texas 2 years ago. I went to see Avengers Endgame. Day one, I got food and all of that shit. It still didn't come out to $30 fucking dollars.
Yeah, no, that's. I don't think. Does anybody really pay $30 for a theater ticket? Let us know.
If you're taking a date or you have like kids with you, then yeah.
It depends on how expensive the food is, and you get the concessions, because they charge like $20 for a hot dog and shit like that. So you get the ticket, and it's like, damn, I'm hungry, and then and then it gets
got my $1,400 stimmy. Yeah, I'll get popcorn and a drink at the movies.
So once again, the views of Chayse McLaughlin does not reflect the entire podcast of the Afternoon Tune, but allegedly, what one could do is go to a dollar store, get all the food that they want for $1, and go to the theater with heavy pockets, allegedly.
Yeah, you could, somebody may do something like that.
That is something you could do that we are absolutely not advocating towards.
So I'm just saying, I've never paid $30 for a movie experience, is what I'm trying to say.
sometimes
oh, God, for you.
Sometimes it's worth it. I mean, sometimes you go, because there's a nice dine-in theater here where I live, and I go and they got nice seats and it's a recliner. Sometimes they even have heated seats, this feels really nice, actually. You know what I mean?
See, there's a theater just like that where I'm from that never charged me past $30.
Well, the ticket itself is not $30, but then they have the nice food and then all the stuff like that. So eventually it's gonna come out to sometimes $30. But like with the premiere thing, I mean, if they offered some other incentives, like we said, like maybe if you got like a poster, or maybe if you got like, like you get the DVD 3 weeks early, everybody else, or maybe if you like
you get a code to a 4K version of it before you get like bonus features. You turn Premiere Access into another tier of a subscription.
Something else that comes along with it.
There's just no incentive aside from, okay, you get to see the movie 3 weeks before it goes for free. And that's not a strong enough incentive.
Are we still gonna watch it? Yeah, of course.
Just not for that price.
Maybe it's trying to push people to go to the theater. It's like, well, I don't want to spend $30 to go see it on this Disney Plus. Maybe I'll just take my ass to the theater and go spend.
Just put that mask. Just put your mask on like you're one of the war boys in Fury Road. What are you doing?
I mean, maybe if you just want to do something, maybe that's what they're trying. Maybe it's kind of reverse psychology. Don't see it on here.
Just get your theater ticket and scream at the clerk. What?
Yeah. So maybe something like that. But July 9th, I'm surprised they just didn't. I don't know why it's July 9th. Just didn't do it sooner. Maybe like in May or June. I don't know why July 9th, but
I think they're hoping that by the time July rolls around, vaccines are going to be more widely available. People vaccination will start happening on a larger scale, so be a lot safer to go to a movie.
Yeah. Good point. Of course we'll review that when that drops July 9th. We'll review that and stuff like that. And I guess that kind of rolls around after, because July 4th is when is that? July 4th. What day is that?
I thought you were about to ask when is July 4th, like July 4th?
So there's this amazing thing on it's both your phone and your computer. It's called a calendar.
So it's a Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a Sunday. So I was gonna say, like, if July 4th is, they'll try to roll it into kind of the weekend or something like that, maybe. But it's on a Sunday.
And Marvel has kind of been doing the whole 4th of July weekend thing for at least the last couple of years I can remember. They Far From Home, that came out on the July 4th weekend, and they're doing it again here with the window.
All right. So moving on from discussing that, I'm gonna talk about DC stuff. So the trailer for Suicide Squad that dropped today, and already from the trailer,
James Gunn's The Suicide Squad.
yeah, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, because this isn't titled Suicide Squad 2, I don't think, right? It's just The Suicide Squad.
Yes, it is The Suicide Squad, not that
The definitive,
not that Cholo bullshit.
Yeah.
the definitive
we should,
one.
I think we should
Fucking
really start.
haircut.
Yeah.
We should
I think we should. I think we should really start bringing back the. I miss the. When people used to say the. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. It has like a prestige to it.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's it's like the next Robert Pattinson. It's not a Batman movie. It's the Batman.
Yeah. For the longest time, so apparently Megan Thee Stallion is not The Stallion, it's The Stallion. I always thought it was The Stallion. Huh. I always thought that's the way I always thought it was pronounced.
I mean, it's the two E's, right?
Yeah, two E's.
Somebody said it was The Stallion. Somebody said it was The Stallion.
They are wrong about.
Oh, okay. So
on
they're
a
wrong.
On a scale of 1 to Wesley Snipes, how much melanin they got?
I saw somebody say that. I was just like, oh, okay. So it's like they say, yeah, she goes by The Stallion, not The Stallion. I was like, oh, I thought it was The Stallion. So, it is The Stallion. Oh, okay, yeah.
If there's two E's, then it's the.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we should start doing that. I like saying that. I like
saying damn right. If you want to get called that.
Yeah. So yeah. But anyway, I'm sorry, but this trailer is really good. And so the opening of this trailer begins. You see them in a van. Even just the interactions between these people. You see, Idris Elba here. You see Joel Kinnaman here, and you see them kind of just all interacting in this van, and they're planning to save Harley. You see John Cena. Even just from that scene of them in the van, I think is better than anything in those 2 hours that was in Suicide Squad. I think
easily.
You know what I mean?
Easily.
I mean, just banter. This is what I wanted to see in the Suicide Squad actual movie that was the David.
Yeah, there's no competition. Like, this 2.5-minute trailer is easily more entertaining than the 2 hours that was Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And Joel Kinnaman, he looks a lot bigger than he did since I last saw him.
He got jacked for that Netflix show, Altered Carbon.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. Because yeah, he looks a lot bigger than he did before. I was like, wow, he looks way more in shape now. He looks way bigger. So you see Idris Elba here, John Cena, and so they're coming to rescue Harley. That's a good scene too in the trailer. You know what I mean? And they feel like it's more of a close unit, a close team. They seem like they care about it more of each other now. You know what I mean? And things like that.
They care just enough.
They care, just enough. I guess about.
Yeah, it's self-preservation.
Yeah, you know what I mean. They're in it together. You know what I mean. They're in it together. You see, so it's a lot of introduction of the team. A lot of kind of the new members. You see Michael Rooker, who's a James Gunn staple. He's in every James Gunn movie. So you see him in this. You also see Polka Dot Man in this. King Shark, who I'm excited to see in this film.
Who just got released that is voiced by Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, Sylvester Stallone's.
That's a good pick. That's a good pickup.
I
don't know. I'm kind of I don't know. I guess I like really like. Yeah. I guess I really like the voice of King Shark in the Harley Quinn animated series. I was hoping maybe they get him, because I really like that voice of the guy who does his voice in that.
I feel like King Shark is essentially gonna be this movie's kind of like Groot character.
Yeah, he's not gonna get a lot
of dialogue, but there's enough emotion in the performance that you can almost tell what he's saying just by everybody around him.
Yeah. And you see, of course, like the nice hero walkout shot with them. You got Jai Courtney, Captain Boomerang, who I did really like. Jai Courtney's Captain Boomerang. Thought he did good in that. You see Nathan Fillion, you see Pete Davidson, and you see King Shark, doing his thing, eating people, and the guy at the computer being absolutely you know what I mean, disgusted by that. You see Viola Davis. Oh, go ahead.
And Viola Davis being done with everyone's shit, and Polka Dot Man I think being suicidal.
Yeah,
yeah.
very much so. You
I
think?
hope they lean into that joke, just like, Jesus Christ, I'm a fucking supervillain named Polka Dot Man. Kill me now.
And Viola Davis, I thought, she was also one of the other good elements I liked about the Suicide Squad. I think David Ayer version, I thought she was very good in that. So they brought back a lot of the good characters.
It felt like for that version of the film, Viola Davis was the only one that picked up a Suicide Squad comic.
Yeah.
And really got to know Amanda Waller.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, she was just perfect casting for Amanda Waller. Thought she hit the character spot on. From all the stuff I've seen her in, from the animated series, from the comics, I think she hit that character very, very, very spot on for me. Again, and you see more kind of banter between them, like when they're on the island, and Idris Elba and John Cena going back and forth, and John Cena said, if this island was full of dicks, and somebody told me to suck every one of the dicks, I'd absolutely do it, till there was no dicks left, like stuff like that. I think is absolutely really good.
I'm
what did you
definitely
guys
not. I'm definitely not going to cut that out of context.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Don't worry about it.
Just marking the timestamp and
36 minutes in. Okay, all right.
Okay, and even smaller moments like when it looks like the new members of the team, like the Thinker, are getting introduced to Rick Flag, Harley, and Bloodsport, and they're given yep, you failed the mission, you die. We find out any information you gave us is false, you die. We find out you have a personalized license plate, you die.
You cough without covering your mouth, you die.
Giving her trademark.
Yeah. So Chase, what did you?
It's
think
not an open invitation to start covering.
Oh yeah. So Chase, what did you think about the trailer overall?
I mean, I was always looking forward to what he would do with Suicide Squad. I'm excited, dude. I don't know what else to really say. He's going as gory as we were hoping he would be. The team dynamic seems to be just right. And it seems to he just seems to know how to utilize all these characters the right way. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I like the visuals of it. I like the look of it. King Shark ripping a guy in half. I mean, that looks really gorgeous. I mean, literally just ripping him in half. Like, wow, Jesus. So yeah, I mean, and there's a nice cool scene with them, like at a nightclub, them all hanging out. Like, I think that's gonna be a fun scene. John Cena, who looks absolutely humongous. I mean, he looks like Ernest. He looks like if Ernest took steroids and never stopped and just constantly ate them, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know what I mean?
He looks like Mark Wahlberg ate Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like somebody just put a bicycle pump into his ass and just kept pumping and pumping and pumping until he's just humongous. It's like, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Like, but the dude, I mean, you know what I mean? He likes to work out, man. He enjoys working out, obviously.
Good for him. I mean, if I'd swap bodies with him if I ever wanted to know what it feels like to be able to bench press a car.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I mean, if there's steroids involved, they mess up your junk.
Yeah. I mean, if I want to look like John Cena and put on a suit and feel like what it's like to be Kingpin, yeah, I would absolutely love to experience that just for a day. You know what I mean? Just
I mean, it's not like anybody could see you as John Cena, though.
Oh yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
There was just a giant, weird, floating metal helmet in the trailer. That was weird.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. This looks fun. It looks really good. The action looks really good. Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn. I wonder how long she's gonna play this character.
As long as it's making money.
If she keeps playing it like this, I hope we keep getting Margot Robbie as Harley, because she has kind of gotten overshadowed by virtue of how great the Harley Quinn show on HBO Max is, and Kayla Cuoco, how she's nailing that voice performance. But there's it's almost like validation to see it in live action. To see, yeah, this character is fucking awesome, and you have an actor of the caliber of Margot Robbie playing her.
Yeah.
To perfection, almost. Especially in this, she had some of my favorite Harley moments just in this trailer.
Yeah. And I know, I mean, Birds of Prey, I thought it was okay. Thought it was pretty
I love
decent.
Birds of Prey.
I
absolutely adore that movie.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of things they could have done better. I hope she gets another chance to do another one of her movies, gets another chance to be even better. I don't know if that's going to come, given the returns on Birds of Prey, but I hope that she gets another chance there. So moving on from discussing the Suicide Squad trailer, we're going to discuss Pierce Brosnan, who's going to be Dr. Fate in the upcoming Black Adam movie. Pierce Brosnan, of course, people know he played James Bond. He was my first James Bond that I saw him in. Unfortunately, I saw him in one of the worst James Bond movies, Die Another Day, with Halle Berry.
That was my first James Bond too.
Yeah, but Halle Berry did look fine as hell in Die Another Day, so there's that. So he's going to be in this. Oh, and what do you all think of Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate? Do you know much of Dr. Fate from the comics? I mean, it seems like he's a natural choice to be in this film, Dr. Fate, because they are doing it seems like a Justice Society of America type of situation, because Hawkman's going to be in this, things like that. So what do you think about that character being introduced here in this Black Adam film?
I don't really have much to say aside from it seems like appropriate casting.
With a character
we'll see.
With a character like Dr. Fate, there's three versions of it that I normally do. There's the version that we see in the Injustice video games. There's the version we have on Young Justice, where it's more or less the helmet, and whoever wears it becomes Dr. Fate, and you have that whole tragic backstory with Zatanna and Zatar, and how that essentially became their nuclear option on Young Justice. And you have one of my favorite versions from one of the recent animated movies, Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay, where the squad pretty much tracks down this male stripper himbo, and his whole backstory is, he used to be Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
So I was kind of hoping that they would go more towards that route, but again, Pierce Brosnan, I think, is a terrific actor when he's not playing, when he's not in the worst James Bond movies. And it's cool to see another James Bond join the DC universe alongside Timothy Dalton on Doom Patrol.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah. So they need to get all the old James Bonds, except for Roger Moore, who recently he passed away. But they still can get George Lazenby. I haven't seen him in anything else. Was he in anything else besides a Bond movie? What really happened to him after he did Bond? It's kind of disappeared.
Well, I mean, when you're getting those Bond checks, you're chilling,
Yeah, but he was only in one movie though. He was only in one.
He's living off those residuals, man.
Yeah.
So it says here, so this is via the Hollywood Reporter. It says Bronx will play Kent Nelson, aka Dr. Fate, son of archaeologist who was taught sorcery skills and given the magic helmet of fate. The character, created by Gardner Fox and Howard Sherman, is one of DC's oldest characters, having first appeared in 1940's No More Fun Comics number 5. I mean, they're putting a lot of these kind of characters in this movie, Black Adam movie. It turns out to be, very interesting to see what they do with all these different characters. And DC, this is kind of another, I guess, one of their villain movies, maybe anti-hero movies, like they did with Birds of Prey, focusing on that, or Suicide Squad. The direction they're going, it's kind of hard to pinpoint. With Marvel, they map all this stuff out, and they have a whole roadmap, and they plan out these movies. DC's kind of just hey, we're kind of just flying by the hip here, it seems like, with a lot of their stuff.
DC, they're kind of just okay, throw everything at the kitchen sink. Let's let Zack Snyder make his 4-hour Justice League movie. Let's give the guy who did the Apes the Batman. I will say, they all don't feel the same, and in some ways that's good, in some ways that
that's bad. Not saying that all Marvel movies are the same, because when people make that criticism of Marvel movies saying that they feel kind of samey, I kind of disagree. I was like, well, I don't think Guardians is like Winter Soldier. I don't think Winter Soldier, is like,
if you put Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain America Winter Soldier back to back and you cut out the Marvel logo, I would not be able to tell you that they were in the same universe.
So I think when people make that criticism, I go like, I just don't think they all kind of feel the same. But with DC, it just like with a lot of their stuff, it's kind of like you have Shazam, which kind of is like almost like this family type kids movie, and then same with like Wonder Woman 84. But then the first Wonder Woman was kind of like this war movie, and then all of a sudden you had something like Joker, which is kind of like this more noir type movie, this more drama.
Yeah, Joker, which is Todd Phillips trying desperately to be Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So you kind of have all kind of these kind of different things. In some ways, it's kind of nice to have that. In some ways, it doesn't really feel like kind of one universe, even though it's supposed to be one universe. But I kind of like it in a way, and it makes things kind of interesting somewhat. What they're trying to do with all these kind of different things. But yeah, so that was some good casting news there. Some other kind of casting stuff. So we have DC Films. This is via the Variety. It says DC Film taps promising young woman director Emerald Fennell to write a Zatanna superhero movie. So we talked about Promising Young Woman. Really loved that movie. It was on our list of one of our best movies of last year. We really enjoyed it a lot. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you all check it out. Very great movie. And now she's an Oscar nominated director now.
Academy Award nominated on her first feature.
Yeah. So that's highly
in and of itself is amazing. And this is kind of the route that a lot of indie directors go. They'll make their passion project, and then they'll get tapped by the big studios to do the major tentpole, which I could not be happier for Emerald Fennell. I finally got to watch some of Killing Eve, and that show is fucking amazing. We've already said our praises about Promising Young Woman, and I can't think of a better match for a writer for her, especially with her sensibilities, than Zatanna.
Why do you say that?
Well, because Zatanna, she's another character that you can have a lot of, that you more or less have a lot of free reign with when writing her. Because Zatanna is essentially this magician's apprentice who learns actual magic.
Okay.
Who has that kind of stage musician presence. And when you have someone like Fennell, who is very great at writing these very complex, very female characters, in a lot of, especially certain corners of the internet, kind of fetishize Zatanna because the way she's often drawn and her outfit. And you have someone who is going to treat that character with the utmost respect that she deserves. Because Zatanna is easily one of the most powerful characters in DC's universe.
Very interesting. So with this right here, they're doing Zatanna. Again, with DC kind of doing the characters they are doing and doing movies out of, I'm surprised they're going to do a movie about Zatanna, given that she's not one of their more bigger tentpole characters. So that's kind of very surprising. They are going to do a movie about her, and then they said that they're going to do a Static Shock TV show instead of doing a movie. And I think Static Shock might be more adaptable because the whole maybe teenager aspect of it a little bit, and then kind of doing kind of like, okay, here's our version of the Miles Morales thing, kind of Spider-Man thing. Here's our version of that. But they said they're going to do a TV show on HBO Max with that. And then the fact that like with the Green Lantern Corps, they're going to do a TV show instead of doing like a movie of Green Lantern Corps. And Green Lantern Corps is this big kind of, again, Green Lantern is a big superhero. So it kind of is very interesting that they're deciding to do a movie about Zatanna instead of doing like something else, like a TV show or maybe something like that. So that's kind of very interesting that they are deciding to do that.
I mean, at least it's not Batman or Superman.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, we're getting a DC film that is not either of those characters, which is to go back to your point, kind of what DC can do. They tried to do the whole cinematic universe and failed spectacularly. So now they're just throwing everything they got at the kitchen sink and seeing what works, and they already have that built-in justification of it's a multiverse. We can do whatever the fuck we want. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, no, I think the movie's now more so on my radar than it would have been prior. So looking forward to it. Hopefully it'll be great.
So it says right here, Zatanna created by Gardner Fox and Murphy Anderson, a name we just recently read with in discussion to Dr. Fate. It says it's a magician and considered one of the most powerful sorcerers in the DC universe. Like Nick said, her magical abilities are genetic, and her dad is Giovanni Zatanna, was also an alchemist. So, and like you said, Fennell's success coming from Killing Eve, which is a very successful show, as we talked about, being on AMC and everything like that. I'm looking forward to it. I know a little bit about Zatanna just from the Young Justice series and things like that. Chase, what do you think about Zatanna and doing a movie about it?
I really wasn't that interested until I heard who was directing it. So I'm happy that she's on this, and I'm looking forward to it. Like from what I know from her is all just from Young Justice. So it's not like I have like this huge wealth of knowledge about who this character is and like her whole thing. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. How do you think they're gonna have her outfit like in the comics or no?
Probably not.
Probably. Well, because he has a background as a stage magician, they'll probably have it just in like one scene, just do a wink and a nod to, okay, comic book fans, shut the fuck up, we got it in the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe they could just always do a good 2021 update of it, like they did with Wanda and her costume, Scarlet Witch. So a nice update of her costume and everything like that. Very good. So
who do you think that Fennell will choose to cast as Zatanna? Because I had a very interesting conversation about this the other day. A lot of the consensus was just reunite Promising Young Woman and have Carey Mulligan play the role.
Is Zatanna, is she a woman of color at all? Is she? Because sometimes she looks very much.
She hasn't been portrayed that, but
yeah, no.
Shit, I don't see why not.
I mean,
because sometimes I've seen her and she does look very olive skin, very kind of somewhat ethnic in a way, somewhat kind of darker skinned, or sometimes
Italian.
Yeah, maybe maybe kind of like Italian, yeah. Because her father's Giovanni Zatanna, which it's very much Italian kind of name. So yeah, maybe somebody like that. And it depends on what age range you want to go with Zatanna. Depending if you want to go somebody in the 20s or 30s, or maybe somebody younger. Depends on what age range they've done. I've seen her at various kind of age ranges too, in different media positions. So it depends on which one you want to go with.
If they do Italian, they do vaguely olive-skinned Naomi from Power Rangers and from Aladdin.
Oh yeah, that would be a nice choice. Yeah, Naomi Scott. Yeah, that would be a nice choice. Yeah, that's good casting there. So yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to casting news. See what they cast. See what further developments of it is. So that is it for news. Going to wrap up with that, and we're going to go into a nice movie discussion, movie review. Like I said, I did not see Minari. Nick and Chase did, so I'm going to let them take it off. Yeah, I don't support the Asian community at all. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not gonna clip that out of context either.
Yeah. So these guys saw it, so I let them take it off and let them talk about the movie there.
Okay, so the film it's a film directed by Lee Isaac Chung, essentially telling the story of his childhood, because he grew up in a rural farm in Arkansas, and a lot of the movie is told through the eyes of who is played by Alex Kim, and his father Stephen Ewan, who is a Korean immigrant who buys this plot of land in Arkansas with the plan of growing and selling Korean vegetables.
Okay.
And
I didn't know that much about his about the director.
And immediately what's striking about this movie is kind of just how low key it is. because this is not grandiose. So look at this immigrant struggles Hollywood story. He's got to face everything from racism to all that. It's like no, it's a lot more grounded and a lot more down to earth. Even telling just from my perspective, a lot of truths about Asian families when they emigrate here. My mother is Filipino, so and my dad was military, so we had to move around a lot. So we eventually just invited our grandparents to live in on my mom's side, just so my mom could have someone from her hometown. And that's especially true because they eventually bring in grandma, who was played wonderfully here by Yu Jun-yeon, who she was not on my radar prior to watching this movie, but god damn it, just on this performance, she is easily my favorite to win Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah, no, she was one of my favorite performances. Her and the son, their dynamic is phenomenal. They might honestly have the best chemistry out of like the movies that came out this year, honestly.
Yeah, their dynamic is easily the heart of this film. And it's just so warm to see how that kind of shifts, because the biggest thing is that David, Alan S. Kim's character, this character was born in America. He was born, raised here, he speaks fluent English. So when you take in child of immigrants and you have a second generation kid, you kind of lose a lot of kind of traditions and customs of your home culture. And this kid's always talking shit to grandma. I was like, you're not like real grandma. It's like, you don't cook, you cheat at cards, you fucking steal from the collection plate at church. Well, steal back from the collection plate at church.
And you keep telling me my ding dong is broken. Which was like
look around other kids.
Which was one of the funniest jokes in this.
Which that joke just felt so real, because my grandma on my mom's side, she doesn't speak English. She only knows like a couple words, and even then, it's always like she pronounces her like F's like a P. So whenever she would cook for us, she would always like come up to us and ask, "Your penis in your plate?" I was like, "Oh." The entire time I was like, "Oh Jesus Christ, please don't say that around other people."
No, there's a lot of great like small moments throughout this film. One of the funny standouts, or sometimes not funny, it was very cringy at the same time, was the church. They go to the church maybe like twice in the movie, but it's each time I could feel
it's not like Tyler Perry going to church.
Yeah, no, not at all.
It's very quick. It's very low key, and they do address some of the like the uncomfortable racial questions, but it's always like children asking it, and even then, it's never like malicious. It's never with the intent of bullying. It's like one kid asked. And it makes sense, because this kid grew up in fucking middle of nowhere Arkansas. He's probably never even seen an Asian kid before. It's like, why's your face different? It's like, how am I? Cool. Yeah, I'm hang out.
Yeah,
and they're cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at the trailer right here for it. I seen the scene you're talking about. Like I see the scene in the church, and then there's a scene where like the little like white boy's looking at the little Asian boy, and he is just kind of looking at him like, what the fuck are you supposed to be? He really is just looking at him like he's just like, what the fuck are you? Like, he's looking at him like he's ET or something. Like, Jesus Christ, kid.
Yeah, no, there's just a lot of like, I think the way the film tackles a lot of different things very low key is a part of the charm. I'd say, I said this earlier off screen to Josh, like I'd compare this movie to like sort of like a slice of life rather than like a because it's not, like you said, it's not over the top with the drama. It's not like they're not trying to save the world, or they're not trying to change the world in any way. They're just a family trying to get by and trying to make it together. and I don't comprehend how this is not the most American film in American history.
Yeah, to me, this is the most American. This is kind of like that idealized version of what used to be the American dream. Which,
No.
Of course, people aren't gonna fucking watch because they don't like subtitles.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely the American, quote unquote, the American dream. And it doesn't like sugarcoat it. It's not like something where it's propaganda or anything. It's a very realistic depiction of what happens for immigrants. Granted, I've never been to Arkansas, and I have absolutely no desire to, even after this movie, especially even after this movie, actually. They got tornadoes.
Oh, hell no.
I'm gonna stay.
Tornadoes and shit. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Tornadoes and shit. Tornadoes of white people anger and shit.
Yeah, nah, I'm good. I'm good on that. They got creepy dudes that carry the cross for miles on ends, but are actually kind of nice, but still very creepy.
Will Patton is the aforementioned fanatic here. Which I think in a more bombastic movie, there would have been a turn where he like murders that entire family. But thank God that that's not the way they go here. He's just he is very eccentric, but it's always in a very nice and warm way.
Yeah, no, and to go back to that sort of thing where like I don't think this movie is for everybody, because I know some people that will probably would not like this movie because quote unquote there's not a lot going on really. It's very much, like I said, a slice of life. You're just chilling with these guys, getting to know them, and just like emotionally connecting with these characters rather than seeing them go through trauma or go through trials and tribulations and overcome them. It's more so just them.
It's asking you to connect emotionally.
Yeah.
On just people living their day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
And yes, having struggles, having realistic struggles, and having them handled in a grounded and realistic way. This is very much slice of life in just all of that manner. And yeah, just speaking technically as a film, cinematography wise,
beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's one of the most beautiful looking movies I saw that are nominated for this year's Oscars.
And yeah, no, I mean, I don't know whether or not it's going to be my pick yet for the best movie, but it is definitely going to be up there. But I do want to also stress that it's not for everybody. If you like slower paced stories, and if you like characters that, or if you just want to see characters be human, then this is for you. But if you're looking for something over the top, very dramatic, will change your view on life or something like that, that's not necessarily this. It's kind of just like,
go watch fucking Green Book.
How long is this movie?
It's about an hour 55.
Oh, it's not that long.
It's just a little shy. It's just a little bit shy of 2 hours, but yeah, I'm kind of echoing a lot of points that you made, Chase. That I absolutely adore this movie. I'd give this a solid 9 out of 10. I'm so happy that a film with primarily Asian cast, spoken mostly in Korean. There's like maybe 5 minutes total of dialogue that is spoken in English in this entire film. And again, Steven Yeun giving what I think is the performance of his career. Because he's so amazing. He's capturing so much of that warmth of being a father, that anger, that desperation to realize his dream. And just the whole cast all around are amazing in it. But I do also agree that it is a very slow-paced film. It is kind of a slice of life. Not a whole lot happens in the movie, and I don't know if I could recommend this to a lot of people. If you are a film fan, if you do like slower-paced stuff, if you are a fan of slice of life stuff, this is absolutely in my highest recommendations. I give this 9 out of 10 easily.
For me, I'm going to give it an 8. I'm kind of a meathead. But There's a lot of value in this movie, so if you do give it a chance, I definitely recommend. I definitely recommend it. It's not as like say exciting as some of the other noms maybe, but I think it has a lot more heart than most films. And I think the characters are definitely like the dynamic between the grandson and the grandmom is something that everybody should see. You know, that they have some scenes in this movie that are fucking hilarious, and I really do hope that they get some more awards.
I was shocked how funny this movie is.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of comedy in this movie that's just coming from people being people.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah, definitely go watch it. If you just don't go into it expecting some meathead shit.
don't go in expecting meathead shit. Don't go in expecting a fucking white savior to come in and help these people in their hour of need. Don't come in expecting shit like Green Book or The Help.
Yeah. Just let these people be people, and I swear you'll fall in love with them.
Stop Asian hate.
Yes. Stop Asian hate.
So to move on from this, another Stephen Yeun project, we got Invincible. Invincible, like we said before, is the animated series that's on Amazon Prime, which is based on the Robert Kirkman comic. Here you have Stephen Yeun who voices Mark Grayson, who's the titular character. You also have Sandra Oh, who plays Debbie Grayson, who's his mother. You have J.K. Simmons, who plays Nolan Grayson, who's Omni-Man. And you have other various people who round out the cast, like Walton Goggins, who plays the government agent that's the handler of what they call the Guardians of the Globe, which is, of course, like this Avengers, Justice League team. That
Avengers, Justice League.
Yeah,
just
picks the Earth.
The Seven.
Like, the Seven. Yeah, like this, Justice League Avengers team. You also have Walton, who's voiced by Walton Goggins, as I said. In this show, did anybody of you read the comic at all?
No, I heard about it, but never.
I only read the first issue of Invincible, and it kind of didn't grab me. It was kind of very like a lighthearted, at least the issue I read. It was very lighthearted. It was very optimistic. It was more Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman than it was anything like The Boys, which is what it was sold to me. Yeah. And from what I've known, it was like it starts off that optimistic, hopeful tone until you like flip a panel and it's covered in blood and guts.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, no, that's exactly what I expected coming into it. I honestly expected,
looking at the trailers, looking at the animation style, it's very DC. It's very DC. It's like very similar art style to something like Young Justice.
Yeah.
Or I can't remember. It was another DC show.
Yeah, no, I expected this full-heartedly to be like I expected it to be good, but I expected it to be more so of like a fun, campy, like Saturday morning cartoon than what it actually is.
Yeah.
And I'm very impressed by what I've seen.
Which had come as no surprise because this is written by Robert Kirkman, who, of course, created The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he knows his violence. That's for sure. He knows his violence. So in this, it follows the character of Mark Grayson, teenager, whose father is one of the most powerful heroes on the planet. So they're Superman or whatever. And here, he's worried about developing his powers. He's kind of struggling to get them right away. But he finally does develop his powers, and wants to be just like his father, wants to be a superhero, wants to save people. And here it kind of, follows him through that. And, this gets into kind of a lot of the elements, because the humor of it is also really good. Because it gets into a lot of elements of like kind of, being a superhero, what is that kind of like, and those experiences. Because when he gets his first chance to kind of be in battle, and see what that's like. And he's got bodies and blood flying everywhere. He's like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? Like, holy fuck. Like, this person's limbs over here, this person's body's over here, and I'm okay, don't worry, I got you. Oh shit, they're just eviscerated in my arms. Oh fuck.
Yeah, it became a relief. It became a relief when he actually successfully saved somebody. It was like, oh, thank God.
Oh my god, dude! And like that's part of the charm of the narrative so far. It's just like so much can go wrong so quickly. Now when they finally do get it right, it's like really relieving and really rewarding.
And you know, this is a world that's populated by superheroes. It has all these kind of different teams and everything like that. And you see kind of like there's even like a teenage superhero group, and you know, there's like tier lists, you know what I mean, when it comes to these kind of superheroes, because you know, there's a lot of superheroes goes like, well, I'm not like that other team of superheroes. Those people are lame. So I'm not like them. You know, they're losers. You know what I mean? We're better than them. You know what I mean? And saving this kind of thing. And it's kind of one of those elements that if you're just like a regular citizen, kind of just existed in this world, it's like, why the fuck would you, like, even if you were poor, you would try to do everything in your possibility to get the fuck away from the city. It's like, you got aliens.
Yeah, get the fuck out of the city. It's like aliens fucking coming down every week, and it's kind of a little bit of the charm of the show. And there's like one of my favorite moments in this first 3 episodes are with like Sandra Oh. And it's like, Dad went into a portal. Oh, so he'll be late for dinner. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is a character who has clearly seen and heard it all, and it just nothing phases her anymore.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and I thought that was a great kind of, you know, aspect of the show. Yeah, the wife character who's, you know, she's seen it and been through it all. And you know, it's like it just doesn't even phase her anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you know, she's been by his side.
And then like when the things that do actually end up phasing her happen, it hits differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, like the show handles the emotional beats of the characters just as well as the humor and like the sort of mayhem.
Very much so. Yeah. And you know, with the character, I mean, great voice, performances from everybody involved. I'd say,
and this is a star-studded cast. I think this is the beefiest cast for a cartoon I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's one of the it's easily the most stacked voice cast I've ever seen in my entire life, because you have Stephen Yeun, J.K. Simmons, Sandra Oh, as we've mentioned. You also have Walton Goggins, Zazie Beetz, Gillian Jacobs, Jason Mantzoukas, Zachary Quinto, Clancy Brown, Gray Griffin, John Hamm, Seth Rogen.
Who does Seth Rogen play?
The alien.
Yeah, he was the alien with the one eye.
It's kind of like the alien that's set to evaluate Earth superheroes.
I didn't realize that was him.
And just taking a beat, it was like, wait, am I on the wrong planet?
Why didn't they let him laugh? I would have recognized him.
And
it's hard to recognize people, because you also had Mark Hamill, who I didn't catch that was Mark Hamill at first.
Yeah.
Wait,
really? Because I picked it up pretty much right away. Yeah.
Who was Mark playing?
The superhero costume guy.
Oh, okay. I hear it
he's
now.
the guy that makes all. Yeah, so yeah, you gotta always have the superhero costume guy that makes all the costumes for all the superheroes. So he's that guy. And Seth Rogen, he's a producer of this along with Evan Goldberg. They've been producing a lot of stuff. They produced also Preacher, which is based on comic book.
So the biggest thing that this is going to get a lot of comparisons with is The Boys, of course, which is another show produced by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, which I think those comparisons are well deserved, especially just based on the first 3 episodes, how the show balances the violence and the brutality of it with the kind of heartwarming story, with the emotions, with the humor.
Now, I will say that so far, at least, Invincible is a little bit lighter, and it's a lot. I'd say it's more optimistic than The Boys, because The Boys kind of takes more of a nihilistic or somewhat of a pessimistic approach to it, to superheroes, just in general.
The Boys, it's very much Garth Ennis just putting his nihilism about superheroes on the page. And Robert Kirkman, I would say with Invincible at least, he's a little bit more optimistic because you have kind of a similar tone to something like Superman the animated series a little bit.
Yeah. Well, sometimes, because then when it's time to turn it up, he turns it up. But he still maintains that whole sort of through the character of I think his name is the character's name Mark, right?
Yeah.
Through the character of Mark, you kind of have this interesting arc of a superhero or a fledgling superhero trying to figure out how to become like his dad. But he's set in a world that is so dark and so just terrifying that he's a good contrast for that. So you kind of end up having this sort of optimistic, naive approach to this crazy ass world. And I think that's what kind of sets this apart from The Boys. Because The Boys is kind of just like, all right, we're following these nihilist anti-superhero protagonists on their crusade to stop them. Meanwhile here it's kind of just like, all right, let's finally get a superhero that is truly captures that campy optimism, but let's put him in a crazy ass world.
Yeah. And with all this stuff, with all these different superhero stuff that comes out, so many kind of the various, people say, we're oversaturated with the stuff and just so much, and so many kind of things. But I think the thing is, you have so many people who do so much different stuff with it, where in that space where you have things like The Boys, you have things like Justice League, you have things like this, you got things like, Watchmen, which was on HBO, and you got things like the Marvel movies. It's just, you got a lot of stuff to occupy this space of these kind of different creative visions that kind of come with this type of stuff. So, and this one, like I said, it has similarities to The Boys, but it doesn't feel like it's just a carbon copy of The Boys. It's trying to be as edgy as The Boys. It has its own kind of flavor and own kind of thing to it. And also one thing I like to, that also kind of reminded me an element of The Boys, was kind of the mystery to it a little bit. The kind of, the mystery to it, the kind of ever evolving, like kind of reveal that probably is going to happen throughout the series, which I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with it and see in this, because we're doing spoilers with this, right?
Please let me please
do it.
So the big thing with this is, so the Guardians of the Globe, they end up being massacred except for Omni-Man. He just, he's the last one left alive.
Well,
and
he wasn't a Guardian though.
Yeah, he wasn't technically a Guardian. They worked together, but
right.
He wanted to stay unaffiliated.
Yeah.
And that was the moment my jaw was on the floor. It was like,
same,
because he brutally murders all of them.
Yeah,
and it's not like it's clear to see that while there's still like a scale of powers, it's a lot closer than, say, in the DC universe, where if Superman goes bad, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And because the Guardians, they at least get some good licks in on Omni-Man.
Yeah, well, a couple. They do put him in a coma.
Yeah.
Before they go, but I was very shocked by that scene, because it was just like out of nowhere. All right, Darkwing, did you call us? Why are we here? And then Omni-Man just kind of full like swings at the, I think it was the, what do I want to call him, the Captain America of this universe, I guess. But I didn't realize how real this was about to get until he's grabbing onto the Flash's head. What do they call him? Red Rush in this universe. And the music just cuts.
Just giving the fucking that Oberyn Martell like head crush.
Yeah, the music cuts and all you could hear is just like the suffering and the squish. That's when I realized this was a different show. But do you guys have any theories? Because I haven't read the comics, but I have a theory about what Omni-Man is and what he's doing. and who he's actually based off of, rather than just Superman.
He's essentially Red Sun. That take on Superman, or Brightburn, I guess, is like the more recent comparison.
So who I was actually going to compare him to was the Saiyans from Dragon Ball Z, because they have a similar thing where like
Weebs.
yeah, this the weeb in me. But Goku was based off like that. Goku's origin was based off of Superman as well. But what the Saiyans would do, right, is that they would send off their young or like somebody out to a planet to conquer it. So what I'm thinking is, right, is that what the Voltron or whatever they're called, what they do is basically, right, they have a person infiltrate a weaker planet and then destabilize it to the point where they can conquer it. That's my theory about what's going on. Don't spoil us in the chat and in the comments, please.
Right.
But I feel like that's like the most, like, as soon as he said like I'm from this distant planet that sends off heroes, and then he also says to the aliens that show up in episode 2, like, this is not your planet to conquer, I was just like, all right, he means it's my planet to conquer. But I don't know.
Yeah, because he has that kind of that very Homelander, supremacist kind of way about him.
Well, him supremacist.
That's actually a General Zod got to Krypton, got to Earth first. This is General Zod taking over the Earth.
Yeah, because he was talking about all the people that died and like Red Rush. He was like, well, the dude just has super speed. It's not like that's even a great superpower. I mean, what the fuck? Dude just has super speed.
And it's called. And again, J.K. Simmons, one of the greatest actors ever, and just in his voice performance, you can hear like the mask kind of slipping in that monologue.
Yeah, because like he's I love this dynamic between him and his son, because it's like there's moments where you could see that he is at least trying to be a good dad, a loving dad, but then there's also like this very conflicting evil that's like deep within him. That you normally don't see. I mean, like, we saw like little bits like with them exploring like Homelander's psychology, but like this is like a lot more in depth, because these guys have gotten a chance to, for 17 years, to really like be a father and son. So that's really, that dynamic is interesting.
Yeah, very much so. And with this series, so kind of combines a lot of these kind of elements of kind of the traditional kind of superhero stuff. You have all these teams, kind of like you see in the DC animated shows like Young Justice or Justice League, but it also kind of has that kind of the grittiness of something like The Boys, and kind of also mishes it, kind of puts it together. One thing about this is to see the character, what they call him, Dark Blood, who's voiced by Clancy Brown. It's kind of like a mix between, I guess,
who's essentially Etrigan the Demon from the DC universe, crossed with John Constantine.
Yeah, crossed with Rorschach.
Question, Rorschach. He's kind of like a combination of kind of all those kind of things.
Because with all the characters in this, like with most superhero stuff, you can easily draw analogs to the main DC universe.
Yeah.
Because even DC and Marvel, they would rip off each other all the time.
Yeah, they rip each other off all the time.
Yeah,
Deathstroke, Deadpool. You know what I mean?
Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel.
Thanos, Darkseid.
Yeah. Catwoman, Black Cat. I mean, they do it all the time. You know what I mean?
Dr. Fate, Doctor Strange.
You could go on and on, endless examples of all the times, like characters who are just basically the mirror versions of each other.
Yeah.
So with this one, you have this guy who's investigating the case. So that adds kind of that element of like, okay, when is this guy going to be caught? Kind of that good mystery to it, element to it, which I really do like a lot, which is very good. and it, just watching it kind of just also reminded me kind of just like an R-rated Sky High. I think was also kind of a thing that kind of reminded me of kind of the high school element, and just like got to have this kid who had these powers and everything like that, and wants to be just like his dad. And if you haven't seen Sky High, Kurt Russell, highly recommend checking it out.
Incredible. That's one of the greatest superhero movies ever.
So this is to me just reminded me such of an R-rated Sky High and stuff like that. Yeah. Very good. But this was, and I liked it. Amazon, I like their approach with these series of dropping 3 episodes, really getting people into it. I was also surprised when I clicked open the episodes, almost close to an hour length.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this is pretty nice. I'm so used to animated stuff being only like 30 minutes, and this was a full hour, which was very nice. And it's 8 episodes.
And it didn't feel like it either.
It went by fast.
Pacing. Yeah. Pacing's great.
So yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed
it. And just like with season 2 of The Boys, they know the moment to cut off each episode.
Yeah.
Especially with the 3rd episode where it's revealed that Robot, who is Zachary Quinto's character, he's the one that's busted out the Mauler twins.
Yeah.
who were kind of like the intro baddies in the 1st episode.
Yeah. So. With this, Chase said, we wanted to kind of maybe, review it every week. He wanted to do that, so I don't see why not. It's only 8 episodes. It's short, so I would like to keep up with it. I heard that it does make me want to go and read the comic and check the comic out. Especially I've seen some.
Yeah, if I read the comic, I'll definitely be hearing this full cast with all the characters in it.
Yeah. I looked at panels of the comic. The art is really good too, and I think from the animated series they match the art up pretty well too. They match the art up of the comic, and the art is really nice. So really enjoyed it. Really liked these 3 episodes, I would give it a solid 8 out of 10 for me. These 3 episodes. What about you all?
I'm not gonna rate these yet, but. Definitely looking, for me at least, towards a strong 10 if they keep up the pace, because it's like I'm enjoying it. I love this shit. And I'm looking forward to see how they handle all of the interest. What are the words? How they handle the nuances of Omni-Man and his relationship with the son. The next couple episodes with the twin. That does escape. It should be fun. But very briefly, because we did talk about this off screen, we didn't really talk about this on screen. Like, how do you like the format of Amazon dropping sort of episodes like 3 at a time and then going weekly? Because I think with with untested properties like this that not too many people know about unless they read the comics. I feel like this is like the best approach, to really introduce people to a TV show that they don't know about, is to drop it like 3 at once.
I think it kind of depends on the property you're working with and how all the episodes are structured, because with that you run the risk of dropping episodes up to a point where it doesn't really make sense for it to drop. Because with both The Boys and with this show, episode 3 ended on the right note. It ended on just the right cliffhanger to where, okay, I need the next episode right fucking now. Amazon's got like the drug dealer mentality. Is like, all right, just a taste.
Well, the reason why I say that is because like a lot of shows, some shows have a problem with introductions, and I feel like some pilots don't properly represent what the show ends up being.
I would absolutely agree, because back in the days before like binging was a thing, my golden rule with a new TV was okay, give it like 3-4 episodes before you decide whether or not to stick to this, because that's usually the time a television show will find its footing. Yeah,
and I mean, granted, like in the case of The Boys and this, they find their footing immediately, but like some shows, I feel like require
some shows need a little bit more.
Yeah. Which is why I'm like, all right, Amazon, if you want to keep doing this format for every new show, I would love that, because it gives you a nice little sample size. You spend enough time with the characters, and if you don't have a decent story by 3 episodes, then you're doing something wrong here. So unless you're like a long running anime, I don't see the point in watching you. So I like that. I like that approach.
Yeah. I mean, because with WandaVision, they only dropped the 2 episodes Disney Plus. I think that it needed it because you had the first episode, which was more just typical sitcom stuff. So you needed another episode to really kind of get people into it. The show that we're going to talk about next, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it didn't do the whole method of dropping 2 or 3 episodes. It just dropped the 1. And maybe they didn't feel like they needed to because it was an hour long and pretty much introduced the concept already. But to move into discussing Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is the new Disney Plus show that has dropped from Disney and everything like that. Here, an episode, it follows up where you get introduced to the Captain America, Wyatt Russell. He's the new Captain America, and it gets to they have this big introduction to him. He's being introduced to the public and everything like that. They treat it like it's a Super Bowl halftime show where all got a whole nice band and everything like that. He comes out, he gets interviewed, and they run over who he is and why he's such a badass and why he's the one that got the shield. And they say he's this kind of super soldier guy without taking the serum, to mean he's highly intelligent, and he's strong, and you see him throwing the shield, and he tested off the charts, and he's a super battalion, Army, Ranger, Navy, SEAL, Green Beret, sniper, elite guy.
All of that said, fuck this guy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's
I actually kind of
I did. I'm just kidding. I found myself quite endeared to the character, especially with his introduction scene, because you see behind the scenes he's also a guy who's not 100% sold on at least doing the whole media circus around being Captain America. He's a guy who wants to just do his job.
Yeah. There's a sense of humility.
Very Captain America thing.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more humility than I thought there was going to be. I thought he was just going to be a dick.
I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be a typical Wyatt Russell character.
Yeah, and he was going to die in this episode. But no, I actually do find him endearing, and the scenes where Bucky and Falcon are giving him the cold shoulder, I'm kind of just like, damn, just give this guy a shot.
That was some of the funniest moments in this episode for me, because again, Marvel is a master of balancing comedy with its action, and just them talking shit to John Walker. It was just so funny to me. Yeah. And he's always just like, hey guys, why don't we work together?
Yeah. He actually is becoming Captain American-esque, because just the way he's just all campy, just let's just do our job.
And you can clearly see in his action scene, because that's one of the ones that's in the where it's them fighting on 2 semi-trucks. And what they don't show you is Walker and his sidekick.
Yeah, he's even got his own black sidekick. Just well, he had a black sidekick, I give him a black sidekick. You know what I mean? See, we gotta do that. And he's even got a super American name, John Walker. You know what I mean? The super American name,
Very probably from Oklahoma.
Oklahoma,
somewhere.
Texas, Oklahoma, somewhere like that. And this, so when this whole media circus is happening, he's on the news. Bucky, he's watching on TV. You see, Sam is watching on TV, and especially Sam is pissed. Yeah, Sam is pissed because he thought retiring the mantle, gave this whole ceremony, I gave him the shield. It's all done with. You know what I mean? It's done with, and they kind of just went behind his back and just elected a new Captain America.
Bitch, you thought.
Yeah. And it's Bucky. I mean, he's just sitting down. Does he not own a couch or what? Because he's just sitting down on the floor, isn't he? Like, what?
I mean, they kind of established that the Avengers were poor.
It kind of goes back to the conversation that Sam and Steve had in the Winter Soldier. It's like, it's like your bed's too soft. It's like you feel like you're gonna fucking sink to the floor.
Yeah.
So Bucky is very much in the same situation as the two of them were.
That's a nice little detail. I didn't notice.
Yeah, because he's just sitting on the floor watching it, and then immediately after that happens, you see where we see the first introduction of Sam and Bucky together, in this series and everything like that. And the first things he said to him, just, what the hell happened? like not hey, or not hey, how's it going? You know what I mean? Just like, what the hell happened? Why does he have the shield? What's going on?
I kind of wish the show went full PG-13 so they could get that one F-bomb.
Yeah, that would have been appropriate in that
what
moment.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
But I would say, Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan's banter is really great. Very, very much so. That's like one of the big selling points of this show. Like when you saw in the trailer, they're kind of going back and forth, and a lot of scenes you saw from the trailer are in this second and first episode, like the scene where they're in therapy session together, which was really good, which we'll get to in a minute. But this scene where they're talking, and Anthony Mackie talks about the big three. He's like, there's the big three. Aliens, androids, wizards. That's the big three. You know what I mean? And they kind of had that whole back and forth. And then it was kind of funny when Bucky mentions, like, I read The Hobbit in 1937. When it first came out. Yeah. I'm an OG Hobbit reader. Yeah. You know what I mean? OG.
I think my favorite part about
Bucky
that.
Bucky is an OG nerd.
Yeah. But I think my favorite part about that joke is that it becomes a callback later when John Walker is talking about the big three, and then Falcon is just like, oh, he knows about the big three too. Like, now I gotta retire that whole joke.
And because what Falcon is doing, he has a whole mission with Isaiah Hernandez, where he has a whole mission of trying to locate the Flag Smashers, which is these group of people. And again, it expands upon the snap, upon kind of the aftermath of that. Where we had WandaVision, which was more of a personal kind of effect on people, with the snap, and how kind of that really, really impacted people in the world. And then you have this show, which talks about the Flag Smashers. It was all about we kind of liked it better when half the population was gone, and there was almost kind of no countries and almost no borders and all this other kind of situation, no leaders really, where it was kind of a nice kind of free reign of kind of more society. So we kind of appreciate that more, I guess. And you have these group of people banded together who have taken some version of the super soldier serum, because you see they are very strong, they are very powerful in a way, and so I like that aspect of it as well. What did you guys think of the organization of the Flag Smashers and what they bring to the show?
They're interesting. Their philosophy is interesting, but I'm much more interested into who's chasing them and why.
Because they name drop somebody called the Power Broker. But I think that's going to be one of the main villains of the season. And with the Flag Smashers, it's again just a great world building around this catastrophic event that we only got to see from the Avengers perspective. We don't get to see it from the ground level.
Yeah. I do hope that they at least get a flashback or something during the blip, when they either took the serum or were just forming, because I do find that that concept is interesting.
Especially later in the episode where you're introduced to another character from Bucky's past, I think Bradley, who is very much another super soldier.
Yeah.
It makes sense that of course the U.S. government would try and recreate the serum over decades. Of course they experiment on people.
Yeah, and he was Black Captain America, whether they wanted it or not. They needed him.
And was played wonderfully by Carl Lumley. who you all may know as the voice of Martian Manhunter on the Justice League.
Yeah.
Or he played recently in Doctor Sleep. He played the Scatman Crothers role.
Yeah, he's very good in that. He was also the father of Martian Manhunter and when Supergirl. He's also in that. Yeah. For all the people out there who watch Supergirl, like I did, he was also in that. But to before we get to the whole Isaiah Bradley with Bucky's past, leading up to that, we kind of have that whole kind of interaction as Nick was talking about with on the two semis truck where they try to meet the Flag Smashers, and it's a good fight scene, really good action scene between them, and how. These people are a force to be dealt with because they're knocking around, Falcon. They're knocking around Bucky, who even has a version of the super soldier serum. Someone in him. You see when he tries to even just kind of land, when he just jumps out the plane. Everybody just jumps out of planes. You know what I mean? Just like, Bucky, he's just like with no parachute. He's just like, yeah, I'll just jump out the plane. It's okay. I got a vibranium arm. I'm good. I'm okay.
Yeah.
And everything like that. I'm part black. I got a vibranium arm. It's all right. I'm like
vibranium.
Yeah, I'm like Vision. You know what I mean? I got part black in me. I'm all right.
You mean V-Sean?
Yeah, V-Sean.
V-Sean. Yeah, the White Wolf.
Which they do call it. Yeah,
Bucky.
That was another funny line in this where Falcon's like, "Look at you, sneaking around like you're a White Panther. Spend some time in Wakanda. All of a sudden, look at you, you're White Panther now." Like, I'm White Wolf actually.
Yeah, that was a nice little shout out.
Yeah, so that was a nice little kind of funny line like that. That was really good as well. Which was, that action, like we said, on the semi truck was very good, and we see the new Captain America show up, and kind of like that kind of, hostility between him and then, which gets later expanded upon. And you see when you see him in action, and he's actually pretty good. I mean, the new Captain America can hold his own in the fight. He's throwing the shield very well.
Yeah, there's a reason the government picked him to be Captain America.
And you see why.
Yeah, no, he saves them. I thought they were gonna have to save him.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna get stomped out this episode.
He does get outgunned because he's fighting a bunch of super soldiers.
Yeah, and but when he does have the shield, he's actually holding his own though.
He's pretty good with the shield, bouncing off a couple people. Yeah, he was like, okay, all right, fine, all right, okay. You can do a little something. All right, I see you.
They told me on this character a little bit.
Ain't no super soldier, but you got some sauce.
Yeah. And you see, because Falcon went, so they kind of they have to kind of get out of the fight because Falcon has to save Bucky. And they nicely embracing each other's arms, rolling around in the grass. You know what I mean? Like he's Anakin and Padme from Attack of the Clones and shit like that. You know what I mean? Just like rolling in the grass and shit like that. So things like that. And it is kind of, you see this kind of, like you said, tension. Like when Nick brought up how he's offering them a ride later back. He's trying to get to the airport after the fight's done. And just say, it's like, you seriously gonna walk like 10 miles to the airport? Like, come on, man, just get in the car, let's go, come on. You know what I mean? Don't be that stubborn. Which I don't even know why Falcon is walking. I mean, dude,
he can fly.
So I don't even know why he's walking, but I guess he just doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to leave Bucky behind. He wants to talk shit more to Bucky.
Yeah, he just lives to talk shit to Bucky. Yeah, just to piss him off.
Yeah, he's enjoying it. He's enjoyed his time. Yeah. Although I feel like it would have been funnier if he was just like floating with the wings out, just talking shit from above. That would be hilarious.
Oh yeah, that would have been even better.
Hey, the mouse is writing checks, but ain't blank checks, man.
I feel like the mouse really could have used vision on that scene. But if you want to send me a check to write or direct that scene, Mickey, I got you.
But to bring up a point that Nick had about the whole when they visit Isaiah Bradley, right? Who's somebody that from Bucky's past, and they go to him. He's like, well, he's maybe somebody who knows more about the super soldier serum and what they did and everything like that. And it's a nice callback to the comics. Isaiah Bradley was a version of Captain America in the comics. and to see him talk to him and about everything like that. And the show, how they talked about before, Kirky Sutherland, who's the guy who's the showrunner of the show, director of the show, and he talked about how they're going to bring in a lot of those political elements of the show, especially from the element of race, and having the Isaiah Bradley character touching on just how black soldiers were treated, especially during that time, and how even during that time of when black soldiers were fighting, there was still segregation, and there was still even the black soldiers were separated from the white soldiers, and they were still fought the same war, fought the same battle, bled the same blood, but still treated less than even when they when they were fighting there, and then when they came back. And you had a guy like Isaiah Bradley who spoke about that type of stuff, and especially just also just black people's just mistrust in general of the government and of the medical industry, because we hear things about that, like the Tuskegee experiment, which had the treated effects of syphilis, injected syphilis into black men to see what the effects would be, and things like that. So with this, he was expendable. He was somebody that the government could use to their own devices and things like that. And I think that one scene was very, very well done, very powerful in a way. I mean, good performance by him, even in that little scene. Especially when he throws that tuna can, right straight into the wall, with that passion, and it's like, oh shit, he's got that that old man strength, you know what I mean? Still got that
still got it.
Veins.
Still got that serum.
Yeah. And immediately after that scene, you see a scene where the cops pull up on him. You know what I mean? And where him and Bucky are arguing, and
I was amazed that this show went there. I mean, I know in our lead up, we were talking the show was possibly going to address race. I did not think that they were going to do it to the extent they did here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and cops pull up on them, and they ask, Bucky, hey, is this guy bothering you, sir? You all right? It's just like, yeah, you okay? And everything like that, and then they ask him for his ID, and Bucky says like just give him his ID, man. Like, man, I don't got to give this guy shit, man. Fuck this dude. I ain't gotta give him shit.
I'm in the Avengers. Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
And I love how they turned that whole thing on its head, because they end up arresting Bucky.
Yeah.
For some stupid shit.
Yeah, you missed your point of therapy.
Yeah.
And everything like that. Which was very nice. And we see that, and that leads him to being in prison, and Sam is waiting for him. And you see the therapy session that we saw in the trailer, which was, again, balancing that good moment of nice dramatic element, comedy element, because the doctor invites both Sam and Bucky to have a session together. And again, it just goes into how well these two really work together, and how well these two just kind of bounce off each other. When she tells both of them to face each other, and they're scooting way up close to each other, like, you know what I mean? His knee is right in his crotch, and they're just locking eye to eye. And it gets into what the big issue is, right? Why is Bucky having such a big issue with Sam giving up the shield, and why he has such an issue with the new Captain America in general. And from Bucky's perspective, it's just the fact that it's like, well, if you gave up the shield and you were wrong for it, what does that say about me? If Steve entrusted you with it, and if Steve was wrong, is he wrong about me? And I thought that was a good moment. And Sam had a good moment where he's just like, well, maybe I can have my own decision, what I mean, of whether I wanted to do it or not to do it, and I can make my own decision. I'm my own man. I mean, what did you guys think about that scene, just in therapy, and what were your overall thoughts on that?
I said it before in our breakdown of last week. It's amazing that Sebastian Stan gets a chance to actually act to be a character when he cut off all the long hair.
Yeah. No, because that was it was a very good scene. Just to see them argue, but actually get into their philosophical differences was great. It's rare.
Not arguing. It's not arguing like Hollywood movie arguing. It's actually arguing, but it's getting to the root of the actual conflict in between them.
Yeah. And like we said previously, like this is a true successor to Winter Soldier, you know. Yeah, no, I like their argument, and I get both sides. Like I deeply agree with both sides, really. Like I understand where Sam's coming from with like he doesn't feel like he's worthy. And to be fair, like, you know, not everybody gets super soldier serum, so like I guess, you know, and not everybody has Steve Rogers demeanor and like you know, good morals and character. So like it's a hard role to fill. But then also with Bucky's point of view, where like, listen, this is my best friend and he trusted you with this shield and this job. Why aren't you doing this? This was his dying will.
So that so I have a question about
why they can't just steal the shield back.
I mean, yeah.
Because last time we did, Sharon got branded an enemy of the state, and Steve and I were on the run for 2 years.
Yeah, that was also funny too. Yeah.
I had a question about that. So in this world, so in this current time right here, so do people think that Steve is dead, or do they think like they know that?
That's my understanding.
So they think he's dead, and so but he is actually still alive, just an old man, right? So
I mean, dude, kind of looked on death's door last time we saw him.
Yeah, I mean, he could be dead. I don't know.
You know, because I don't know the status of that. I don't know if like he is dead or if he just really, because I know we saw him at the end of Endgame where he's just an old man now. So I don't know, because I think the world itself thinks he's dead. I think because he was in that whole montage. I remember like in Far From Home, they did that whole montage of fallen heroes that when you finally discover Adobe Premiere and everything like that, oh, I can do this. I can add the clip in here and play the music in the background.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, 15, you make your first YouTube video and shit like that.
I'm
so
cool
he
with
was in
his
that.
dead.
Yeah. So I think the world thinks he's dead, but I think to the people closest to him, they know he's not dead. So
I think it works better if Steve is really dead, because this whole arc of the show is Sam finally realizing that, okay, I'm the right guy to do it. I have to become Captain America, and I think that's cheapened if Steve is still alive.
Yeah.
And it's also, I don't think Sam would have given the shield away if Steve were still around.
Yeah, because I can't imagine a world where Steve isn't calling him immediately after that Smithsonian.
The fuck?
Yeah. And I kind of like the parallel narrative between him and Spider-Man, even because it's like they both have to figure out how to succeed their sort of mentor figure, you know?
Yeah, very much so. And one of the big things that this episode leaves off of is they're going to bring Zemo. They're going to meet him. Very much a Hannibal Lecter type situation. You know, got to go to the bad guy, get information, get some help. You know, he knows more about Hydra than anybody, and they need information about Hydra and about what they did with the experiments. And so I'm excited to see Daniel Bruhl come back. Obviously we saw in the trailer he's going to be in the full Zemo costume, the mask, the nice pimp coat. You know, he's going to be full decked out. So would you all think about that?
Definitely not looking online to get myself.
So what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that kind of that nice ending there?
It kind of dispelled one theory I had where Zemo was working with the Flag Smashers already, and that like during the blip he busted out prison, and that's what he's been up to the last 5 years. Kind of dispelled that theory because he's still very much locked up.
And I can't imagine him working with people with superpowers. I don't know. I don't know if he'd do that, but we'll see.
So overall, you guys thought it was a good episode?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, me too. I loved
all the action scenes. Kari Skogland, who was I believe a writer on John Wick, he's giving great direction in both episodes of the show, and just small little character moments that I don't think we would have gotten in like a normal property because again 6 episodes, you have the time to build these people up.
Yeah.
And even made me like, I wouldn't say like John Walker because fuck that guy, but still give us moments where he's humanized. And it's very clear that even though he's like posturing around Bucky and Sam, he needs them around because he wouldn't even shown up in that first action scene if he wasn't tracking Sam.
Yeah. No, I actually genuinely like his character, and I can't wait to see what they do with him because I really thought he was just gonna die this episode or just show up and die, be a dick and die. So yeah,
first episode.
so I'm looking forward to what they do with him. I don't foresee him actually being the Captain America to lead the Avengers, but I do wonder what.
I don't even see him keeping the shield for that long because you see in the trailer it's Sam and Bucky practicing with it.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it.
So I wonder. So if you see him practicing with it, I wonder if it's gonna be a thing where they just make a new shield or they take his shield. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Bucky's got the hookup to. Bucky's got the vibranium hookup.
Yeah.
It'll probably be something where like, John realizes he's in over his head, and he's handing the shield over. That's probably what'll happen. And then it'll be like, we're both Captain America now, and then we pass the shield together.
I don't know. I mean, Bucky did say, he did say, yeah, I really miss Wakanda. He did say in the first episode, like, man, I really love it. It was cool. I was out there, in the fields, tossing hay. I was so happy.
Free healthcare, beautiful women.
Yeah, I had a big dome over me that literally nothing could get in. Yeah. It was fucking awesome. I miss it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back.
Yeah. Fuck. I don't even know why he went back to America, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think because he, I wonder if that was before the snap or after the snap, where he had.
I think it was the condition of his pardon.
Yeah.
Because the government, they gave him a pardon for all of his years at the Winter Soldier, but the conditions are corn-reported therapy.
Yeah.
I would have never gone back.
Kind of hard to do when your therapist is all the way in Wakanda.
I would have never gone back.
Hey man, that's the new age, man. You could do like say, hey, Zoom. Be like, we do Zoom calls. Yeah. Zoom called me from Wakanda.
Yeah. Wakanda has the best internet.
That's how we do the show.
Yeah.
Discord.
Yeah, Wakanda's probably got better, like you said, better internet. They probably got that nice fiber and super fiber. They got their own internet. They got vibranium internet. What the fuck I need with? They got vibranium internet.
Vibranium fiber.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
but it's also could potentially lead into Black Panther 2, leading it after the events of the snap. Could have certain people in the government saying, yo, we opened up our borders and this shit happened. Close that motherfucker up.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, solid episode. Of course, we're gonna review the next episode. I'm just sad it's only 6. Wish it was maybe like 8, 7. But yeah, we'll review the next one next week.
I am sad it's only 6, but I am glad that we're getting hour-long episodes, or at least like network length, 50 minutes.
Yeah,
pretty much so. So next week, we're gonna bring episode 4 of Invincible, and we're gonna bring episode 3 of Falcon the Winter Soldier. We're gonna talk about that next week. I'm gonna review also. Oh yes,
Team Monkey. Team Monkey.
Yeah. Kong, Godzilla versus Kong. Gonna be discussing that. Nomadland. Do you guys want to review that next week as well?
I was thinking. I was thinking we should probably save that for later, like closer towards the Oscar season.
Okay, close to the
Oscar
season.
I think Nomadland and The Father are both favored for Best Picture.
And we should be done all the shows that we're reviewing by then. So
okay. All right. So so we'll do that later on. So Kong, and then 2 shows we're gonna review then next week. We're gonna bring that to you people next week. This Saturday, big fight coming up. Random Maverick. It's coming up. We're all wearing the shirts, all showing our support here like that for Maverick. Wishing her luck. Saturday, March 27th. She's got the fight coming up. The fight that was postponed last time. Hopefully, nothing.
Fight against Jillian Robertson, and she is second up on the main fucking card.
Yeah, so that's pretty nice. Hopefully, nothing happens. Hopefully, she don't eat a bad pizza or something like that. Get food poisoning or. You know what I mean? Diarrhea, you know what I mean? So hopefully nothing like that happens.
Find out today.
Yeah. So hopefully nothing like that happens. So we're watching that fight. Do you guys want to stream that Saturday?
Well, I don't think we can stream that.
Well, just us like watching it. Like us watching it.
So
Not
just
us
do
actually.
like watch party.
Yeah.
I don't know the logistics behind that, but I do have a friend that got blocked for streaming an NBA game that he was reacting to. So I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you want to do that.
Okay. So maybe not that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not that. Okay.
Yeah.
But we're all wishing her luck, all wishing her a good time and showing our support for her. So good luck to her. So to all you people out there, hope you enjoy listening to this. Of course, you can always check us out on our various links, various things like that. Instagram, The Afternoon Tune, we're there. We're also on Facebook, The Afternoon Tune. We're on Twitter, The Afternoon Tune. You can email us at theafternoontune@gmail.com. We are TikTokers on The Afternoon Tune, doing all that good stuff. I'm still laughing at that video I posted on TikTok, that Wombi video of Nick and Chayse. Still laughing at that video. Very nice. Caught these guys in 4K. Got these guys there.
Attack him.
We'll see who gets caught in 4K.
Damn, that dog ain't doing nothing. Look at that. That dog's confused.
He's chilling.
She's
chilling.
So very, very good. We're on that. Also, we're on all the places you guys listen to podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify. Of course, we're also on YouTube, which is probably where you're listening to us right now. So if you're catching us on YouTube and do all that good stuff, subscribe, like, comment. Also give us reviews on Apple Podcasts, 5 stars, 4 stars. That really helps the podcast as well, boosts the podcast up a lot. Also, we're at 81 subscribers right now. They're 19 away from 100, so that's pretty nice. Constantly growing, trying to get up there. Right now, it's not the number 69, but hey, 81 is pretty good too. And things like that. So, Chayse, where can people find you?
You can find me at Mr. Chayse Mac at Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. All one word, MRCHAYSEMAC. Where can they find you, Nick? And Bubbles.
All right, you can find me Twitter, Instagram at Night and Day Nick. That's word night, NIGHT, the letter N, DA, and Nick. And you can find Bubbles here at Instagram, bub.bles0922.
Nice. We're also on Twitch as well. I forgot to mention that as well.
Yep.
We're also on Twitch. This is actually the quietest Bubbles I think has ever been to a show. Actually, I haven't heard any noise from her.
She was just like chilling on my lap the entire time.
We haven't made any bad takes. I feel like she only barks when we make bad takes.
Yeah, I haven't had a bad take this episode. At least she doesn't think so.
Yeah. Because usually I hear it in the background and everything like that, and then sometimes I hear Nick's girl come in and she's sit. I'm like, geez. Like, and I hear it and I try to talk through it sometimes, but sometimes I want to laugh and just go sit.
I mean, she's just mad that Bubbles listens to me more.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
she's a girl dog, and she's a girl dog, and I'm the man of the house, and I walk her.
The secret to a successful podcast is to have your dog sit on your lap like you're an evil Bond villain.
You're probably wondering why I brought you here today.
All right, so let's get out of here, people. So hope you all enjoy listening to this. Hope you really had a good time. Had a nice show for you all, discussing a lot of good stuff that we all like. Very, very had a lot of fun. So for all you people out there, hey, hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to always stay
tuned.